CHEVY website right here, right on my desktop. And what we're going to do is we're going to build a Blazer real quick. So basically, here we go. So you have a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine. There's no fucking way we want that. The only other option here is a 3.6 liter V6 engine. That has a 9-speed automatic. Okay, so that right there is going to start you off at 34,495 rather than 33,495. So we definitely going to pick that right there. Okay, next. Blazer leather. Okay, we would like some leather. Yeah, why not? Let's get some leather in there. So that steps us up a little bit to 38,695. Now we got some leather in there. Now they have an RS that has the 3.6 liter V6, and the RS has like a RS badge right here, and it has a little bit of trim inside. So I'll tell you what, let's step up to the RS. That's going to take us to 41,795. Now the ones that I'm about to show you that are on the lot, like there's a red one, and that red one's an RS, but the only thing it didn't have was the ventilated seats. Now you know me, I have to have cooled and ventilated seats because I got to cool my ass. Now if you're not getting the RS that has this kind of sporty-ish trim, which in my opinion, nobody's even going to notice this thing on the road because it looks too much like everything else. This thing looks just like the new Nissans. It looks just like all of these Japanese Econo boxes, which is something that I hate, the fact that a lot of these American cars are starting to look just like these damn Japanese Econo boxes. Say what you might about Dodge's cars, but Dodge's cars look nothing like these Japanese Econo boxes. They look nothing like them. A Challenger don't look shit like anything Japan makes. A Jeep Grand Cherokee don't look shit like anything Japan makes. And that's the reason why I prefer to go to them, because they're making stuff that's absolutely cool and it absolutely stands out on the road. Now, if you're not getting the RS version, they have the Premier version. It's the same 3.6 liter V6 that I have in my mom's XT5. My aunt has in her XT5. My friend has in her new XT5. So they've been, GM, I don't know where they make these engines, but they must have already paid back the cost of those engines because they put that shit in everything. And I won't knock it because it's actually a good engine considering most of these other cars, like these RAV4s and these Japanese Econo boxes, they want to give you these shitty little 4-cylinders. We don't want that. The V6, I guess that's your only real option because, you know, in the good old days of GM, you could have gotten this thing right here with a V8, but no more. It's dead. It's just dead. So either you get the RS or you get the Premier. Now, if you get the Premier steps you up with more equipment. So basically, the RS has these exterior accents that makes it stand out. It's got 20-inch wheels. They have a gesture power liftgate for your foot. They got the navigation system and so forth and so on. You've got the zone alerts, which is basically all the safety nannies. So if people are walking behind you at Walmart, you'll know about it before you run their ass over. And they also have rear park assist. So this way it's beeping and everything, and you also see it in your monitor if you're backing up. And then they've got the cross traffic, so if, like, let's say you're trying to back out of a parking spot, you really can't see to the left or right. If people are driving past you, you'll know that they're crossing from one side to the other. So that's all nice stuff. You definitely want to have that, right? They say you can compare trims. So what we could do is, let's say if we want to compare this one with the, what is it called? The Premier. Okay, you want to compare these two? Well, basically, most of the equipment offered is the same, except the RS has a lot of packaging material that makes it so that the car stands out. Like, they have, mostly it's the same technology. It's just that the RS comes with a few extra things, you know, like badging, wheel design, and so forth and so on, things that you can't get in the Premier. The Premier, if you're looking for a fully loaded one of these things, you're looking for the Premier. You have a choice between front-wheel drive, and you have a choice between that and all-wheel drive. Okay, next step is the colors. Okay, I like red. I'll leave it red hot. They call it red hot. Now, if you want this kinetic blue or something, that's an extra $395. Or if you want Cajun red tint coat, that's an extra $395. So if you want your car to stand out just a little bit more, good luck with that. But anyway, okay, so you have all these things, memory settings, rear camera mirror, safety seats, all this shit is an extra $35.75. So hit that right there, and that's going to give you the heated rear seats, because apparently, just like the XT5, they don't give you heated rear seats. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with them. When my aunt got her XT5, she had to spend They're over $600 a month to get the heated and cooled fronts and the heated back seat. When my mom got hers, she didn't need all that stuff. The thing about it is, heated rear seats should be standard at this point. Now, I could care less about the second row. My thing is the first row should have heated and ventilated seats in all of these cars, especially if you're going over $45,000. If Hyundai can do it, if Kia can do it, you can do it. So stop bullshitting me. So anyway, forward automatic braking, that's a good thing so you don't run into people while you're texting when you're not supposed to be. They got the navigation system. They got the rear camera and all that. They got the heated and ventilated driver and front seats. Now, the one that I saw in the lot didn't have the ventilated seats. It only had the heated. So that, to me, that shouldn't even be like a package. That shit should be standard at this point. And if not, that should be in like every single car they sell. So anyway, Suns and Wheels package. Now, you got to get the Sun and Wheels package. Why the fuck do I have to get sunroof with the wheels? That doesn't make sense at all. The sunroof should be something that is like, especially in these cars that you're selling here in the city. These things should all come with a sunroof. You got to add another $24.95 in order to get that. So this way you get your panoramic sunroof. Now it says you're going to remove these type of 20-inch wheels. You're going to put these 21-inch wheels. Now who the fuck wants these odd-shaped ass wheels? We want 20s. We don't want no 21s. So anyway, hit the road package. You get the cross racks for the top because this car is obviously too small to hold lots of luggage. So let's say you're one of these people who go skiing and everything. You're putting your family at risk. Well, you're going to need these rails and everything to carry all that stuff because you're not going to be able to do it because this car's too small. Okay, you want black assist steps? Well, let's get you some black assist steps because let's say you got nerve damage in your legs. It's hard to get up into this car. Well, that's $1,050. So you got, well, I don't know if we have to add it, but we don't really, I mean, okay, I want mine to stand out. I want that shit. Okay, so I'm going to put select. Look at that. Now it looks like it's official. Okay, so now, I don't know how, you know, they should offer a package where I could change this ugly ass Japanese Econo box front end to something that looks like an American manly car. But I don't think they offer that yet. Okay, so anyway, floor liner package. Well, you got to protect your floor because some of y'all have dog food and shit spilling in the back and everything. People get in your car and they stink. And so, no, we got to have that. We got to protect the floor. Okay, interior protection package. All-weather floor mats. Well, definitely. Hell yeah. Okay, we definitely want that. Cargo package. All this shit is a package. All this cheap-ass Chinese plastic. All this shit is a fucking package. So you got to add another $185 for that. Cargo essentials. Cargo tie-downs, cargo net. Well, I don't want shit falling out the back of the car every time I open the lift gate. So yeah, I better push that too. Okay, storage optimization. My mom got that. It's like a bunch of rails and stuff that go into the back. Okay, gonna have to push that too because, you know, I don't want stuff falling out the back of the car. Okay, roadside safety package. Well, you get a first aid kit, highway safety kit. I don't really think we need that, so let's just keep going. Okay, exterior. What do we get on the exterior? Let's see. Do you want these ugly ass wheels right here? Or do you want these ugly ass wheels right here? It's up to you. Okay, so, all right, tires 20-inch all seasons. Well, we definitely need that. Okay, black lug nuts. Yeah, like that's going to change anything. I tell you, honestly, if you're shopping for one of these things, I feel bad for you. Because, you know, if I were you, I'd probably just go for a Cadillac. But anyway, because you're going to come out to the same damn price. The XT4 is smaller than this, but it comes with more equipment, and it's like closer to $50. So you might as well just pay the extra $5,000 to get heated, ventilated, massage seats and everything. So anyway, Chevy Infotainment System, yeah, I gotta have that, of course. It says changing this is gonna remove this. No, we don't want to do that. Okay, so that's like a standalone thing right there. So this is all included. So it looks like right now we're coming out to about $45,165. Summary. And this is what you get for $45,165. Okay, so that is what it is. And now I know they're offering some rebates, and if they've got like military benefits or whatever, you can get some military benefits and everything. And they, you know, that's just what it is. So you're basically about $45,000, but I'll tell you like this, as I saw on the dealer lots optioned out, these things are around $48,000 and $50,000, which I'm about to show you. So this is the 2019 Blazer. There is really not much here to really make it stand out more than anything else, because to tell you the truth, we've already seen the Traverse, we've already seen the Acadia, we've already seen these other GMC cars and everything. But this is the Chevy model, basically, of what's an XT5 in between XT5 XT6. This is what you're looking at. So that's it. That's it. We don't have any super engines for you. We don't have any superchargers, no twin turbos, nothing like that. Somebody who watches my channel wanted me to take a look at the Chevy Blazer, so I did bother to take a look at the Chevy Blazer. So, this is the inside of a Chevy Blazer. Battery's dead. Unfortunate. Ugh. Jesus. Well, from what I saw on the website, the Chevy Blazer, it feels a lot like my mom's XT5. Feels a lot like that. When I looked it up on Wikipedia, basically, it seemed that the Blazer, the XT5, and the XT6 all share a similar platform that they used on the GMC Acadia. Now, a lot of the layout reminds me a little bit of the XT4, but this is definitely a bigger vehicle than the XT4 by far. Let's see. I know they have, I think it's an RS version. I'm not sure how much horsepower it has, but it's not like the good old days where you could get really powerful engines, or it was really easy to do modifications on these things to make them faster. But it's a decent interior. If you're the type of person who buys GM cars, you probably won't, be out of place with this. So they have a pretty simple layout. Now, there's heated seats right here. This is a heated seat, this is a heated seat. I know you can get this car with cooled seats, and that adds a button right here and adds a button right here. And I see they have this dial for snow. They have a sport dial, which I find hilarious. I would love somebody to pull up to me in traffic and turn the shit to sport and try to race my ass. I would love to see that shit. I'd probably die laughing. They have a USB-C. They have a USB regular. I don't know what the back looks like. Let's take a look at the back. But I have to say, I'm not going to complain too much about GM's latest vehicles, because they do make these things with, seems to be higher roof lines now, which means that it's easier to fit in them. It's easier for you to sit straight up in them. And the thing about it is, some people criticize me all the time. They're like, oh yeah, well, we don't need really big vehicles. You know what you don't have? What you don't have is a full family where let's say you've got 2 or 3 kids and you've got to put fucking strollers in the back of one of these cars, and you've never had to use that kind of space. You may not have taken road trips with a car, and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to buy one of those pods for the top of the car because the car itself is just not big enough. It's like, no, there's a reason why the Jeep Grand Cherokee sells so well. There's a reason why the big SUVs sell so well, and there's also a reason why the trucks sell so well. It's because they're fucking huge. The one thing I probably wouldn't have done right here is I wouldn't have made this overlap so thick, because it's really hard to see the control buttons right here. It's really hard to see them. Other than that, this is actually pretty nice. So they have a cold, you turn this way for cold, you turn this way for hot. That's interesting. So basically, if you want to adjust your side really quickly, all you have to do is actually just turn it left or right. That's pretty nice. Okay. Yeah, and then it has, just like my mom's XT5, they have that dial right there that allows you to determine how high you want the liftgate to rise. That's pretty nice. Yeah. This does have that. See the back. Fall down. Okay, so this is the interior right here. They got this red coloring on the seat. This is nice. All right. So I haven't adjusted anything because obviously the power's off. You get a USB-C right here and a USB regular. With the exception of a couple of people who have Galaxy phones, it's I haven't really seen it used for USB. So basically GM has been getting away with the V6 that produces close to 300 horsepower depending upon how it's tuned. And to tell you the truth, basically this car feels exactly like my mom's Cadillac XT5. And that XT5 was, what is that, about $50,000 to $55,000. Now the Cadillac XT4 is about $50,000 fully loaded, but you can add a couple more things and make it $52,000. You could add some dealer installed options. But this is the RS front-wheel drive. They also have a Premier front-wheel drive, and they also have a Premier all-wheel drive for the people who really want all-wheel drive. So that's good. At least they've learned that they got to make these things all-wheel drive. Like, basically, I mean, this looks like I'm noticing a lot of the parts remind me of the XT4. Again, this is the RS Blazer. And I'm thinking this might be a great upgrade to get rid of our Malibu, unless we just keep the Malibu. It's basically paid off. And this is the Blazer Premier, I believe. This one actually has all of the equipment. And to tell you the truth, from the angles of this thing, it feels a lot like the Cadillac XT5. However, some angles of it make it feel just a little bit bigger. Like, maybe it's just the way I'm looking at it, or maybe it's the ride height that it's at right now. So this is the Premier model. Right. So there's the RS models over here. I counted one RS, yeah. There's one RS right there. Just like the one that I was looking at a minute ago. And these things are pretty, I mean, they got all the features that they're supposed to have. Like, even like the Cadillac XT5, you get that that 3-dot beeping warning thing that tells you you're about to crash into somebody, so slow the fuck down. But basically, you know, it's basically a Cadillac XT5. I mean, there's nothing. See, the problem is when you don't have a really, really powerful engine to set yourself apart. Like, for instance, the Jeep Grand Cherokee starts in like the $39,000 range, and it ranges all the way up to fucking $100,000 because they have a goddamn supercharger that's 707 horsepower. So when you've got stuff like that, it's easy to set yourself apart. It's very difficult to set yourself apart if all of your trims are very similar and they're all damn near using the same engine or some fucking 4-cylinder, you know? Very difficult to set yourself apart. This is the Premier. Look at these wheels. The wheels are nice. I gotta say, those are some nice wheels, right? I don't want to sound like I'm attacking the Blazer too much, but let me just say it like this. I've driven the Cadillac XT4, the XT5, and I recently went to preview the XT6, which is getting ready to be released. This car feels a lot like it's in between the XT5 and the XT6. It feels like it's slightly taller than the XT5, and the space in it feels a lot like the XT6, with the exception that it doesn't have a third row. The Blazer doesn't have a third row. If you want a third row, you have to step into one of GM's larger trucks like the Acadia or the Traverse or something like that. And I'm sure one of those offers a third row, but I haven't really taken a very good look at their product, and there's a good reason for that. It's because they're boring. And when I say boring, I'm saying it's like the only real choices you have for an engine are a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine that has a 9-speed automatic transmission, and then there's a 3.6-liter V6, which is the same engine that GM's been getting away with since my mom had a Cadillac STS in 2009, and they've actually had that engine even longer than that. And then she traded into an SRX that had the same engine, and then she traded into an XT5 that had the exact same engine. And my thing is, it's a really good engine. It's fuel efficient. It can run on regular gas. You don't need to put premium fuel in it. So that I like. I also like the interior. GM has downsized a lot of the knobs and lighting and everything to make it so that some of the components work really well. Like, for instance, the knobs for the air vents, you turn those left or right and it gets colder or hotter. And that's really innovative. Like, I actually really like that. Problem is, the rest of the interior is really, really boring. Like, even the Chevy Malibu from 2015 had like a better cut design in it. Now, I did like other things. Like, for instance, they have easy to use wireless charging for your iPhone. Hopefully you have an iPhone, not one of them shitty Galaxies or one of those crappy Galaxy Folds. But anyway, all you got to do is just lay that down and it'll start charging right away. The infotainment system's easier to use than it's ever been. I remember the old infotainment systems in the old GM cars. Those suck, but these new ones are really good. It has this nav screen which you can't really adjust up and down. And for the most part, driving this is exactly what you'd expect out of driving the XT5. And that's the thing. It's like, I always expected that if they brought back the Chevy Blazer, that it was going to be, you know, something like exciting, or maybe like a Blazer SS or something. But this is what you have to work with. This there's a real problem with that Blazer, I would say that the problem is that it doesn't look like one of these. You see these big, manly looking trucks right here? That Blazer is more like an evolution of this Buick, this aerodynamic Buick styling. And the problem is it just doesn't look manly, like a big, you see this big squared out, big ass manly grille? This is American manhood right here. And you can't, I mean, in that little Blazer, it's like you just don't feel the same if you're carrying your AR-15 rifle in the back of, you know, of that, you know, that Buick over there, because it just looks too much like a chick car. It's like, that's one of the reasons why Jeep sells so well, is because they're big and manly, you know, they're big manly cars. Now, I know somebody's gonna be upset and they're gonna be like, oh yeah, well, you should be more secure in your manhood and everything. Well, listen, if you want to talk that level of shit, then I suggest you go buy a minivan, drive around in that, and see how you feel. You know, unless you're a plumber, it's just not that cool. You know, it's just not manly enough. Even, and you see this right here? This right here is a soccer mom car. Look at this, soccer moms. Looks like soccer mom. It's just not manly enough. See, these are big, and these are manly. They got big, square. When you get up behind somebody, and they see that big ass grill, they're terrified. They're like, yo, let me get the fuck off the road because this guy might ram me. You know, even these trucks. That Blazer, it's just not manly enough. I mean, it's a nice car. It's got all the features that you'd expect in the Cadillac XT5. And actually it has more of them for $50,000. But it's just not manly enough. It's just not as manly as this Jeep right here. That Jeep right here, because see, at least when I start my cars, at least you hear that V8. You don't hear that V8 when you start one of these goddamn fucking V6s. Yeah, you hear that shit. It's like that's the thing. That's the magic feeling that GM seems to have lost. They're not giving you no V8s no more. It's like from now on, look at that. As soon as you get in, the heated seats come on, cooled seats come on. If it's summer, your ass is cool the moment you get in the car. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Right now, it is hot outside. It is like 81 degrees, as you can see, 81. You know, it's like, that's the, and I think that the way these things look is actually, to some extent, playing a role in how well they sell, you know? People want these big, boxy, squared out cars. It's like they don't want to drive anything that looks feminine. Like this Volvo. Volvos are so feminine. Those aren't manly. You know what that Volvo says? That Volvo says I'm a metrosexual. That's what it says. It says when you drive a Volvo, how my gender. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Manly. Get right up on his ass. In fact, watch this, watch this. I go right over the goddamn dividers. I don't even think about no dividers. Look at that. Watch out, bicyclist. Watch out, bicyclist. You know? It's hard to get that kind of power out of a goddamn 4-cylinder or a V6. You don't get that. Look at that Malibu. That Malibu right there. You see, it's a woman driving it. I mean, in fact, let's slow down. Let's slow down. Let's slow down. Let's slow down so we can see how female that car is. Look at that. Look at that feminine car. Look at it. It's so feminine. It's so feminine. It's like having a pet parakeet and being a bodybuilder. It's too feminine. It's like, what happened to American cars? Why are they so feminine now? That's not what I want. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's nice though. I mean, it's a nice, decent value and everything, but it's just so feminine. It's like a woman's driving it. I don't want that. When I get behind you, I want you terrified. You know, I want you to see that grill and you be like, oh shit, let me move over. This Cadillac right there. We bought like 3 or 4 or 5 cars from them people by now. Okay, look at this. This Toyota Camry. This isn't manly. Or is it a Corolla? I don't know. Look at that old lady. Look at her. She's reaching in her pocket for a Werther's Original and a handkerchief. It's like there's nothing manly about that. Look at that Ford truck right there. Now that's manly right there. Masculine. What happened to the Blazer, man? The Blazer used to be a manly truck back in the 90s and 80s. What happened? What happened? What happened? Jesus Christ, what happened to America? Look at this ugly ass Nissan. That's not manly. It's a chick car. Look at that Maxima. Look like some alien driving that shit. It's so ugly. I don't know what ugly ass cars. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. This SV. What's that stand for? What's that stand for? Super slow? Exactly. I know. There are people like, oh yeah, well, you should grow up and calm down. Nobody needs to be burning all that gas. I'm like, who the hell asked you about gas mileage? Need a Civic. That's not manly at all. That's not manly.